versus
We
Christian.
met
I'm
him.
so glad I brought
He
that
was
in.
here last Thursday.
I
when you
heard
were
his
here.
voice, and that's
No,
what.
I
Okay.
saw
And it is the same person, because I said.
I don't know if we introduced him, but
Oh,
that
I
was him that was,
That was
yeah,
just
I
right.
think
Okay, she says,
the windlass.
yeah, I introduced myself. You know I run my mouth.
If I don't, you'll be poking a lot.
You may be poking a lot. You may be poking.
Welcome to the
I'm not into
inaugural
humor.
skit of our doctors, David Daugherty and Dr. Dan Nightingale, otherwise known as the ParaDocs. Get it?
Oh, jeez.
ParaDocs.
Oh!
Today's skit is it any wonder I have head troubles? So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Alright.
When's it
I'm
over?
laughing already.
When's it over?
Oh, Lord. 30 minutes.
Look at the time. What?
You knew he'd be late.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I gotta check my schedule. Something's not right. Excuse me a second. What? Oh! You're here for the group therapy session. The complimentary group therapy session.
Harry's not.
But I've got another patient. That Brit is coming, and he, what? Oh, what am I going to do? Well, let me. I'm Dr. Polar, Dr. Bipolar, and I'm very happy to meet you. And I want to welcome you to Millstone Psychological Services, where our motto is, we hang with you and see you through. Now, in case we get interrupted, this is the secretary got things backwards. I'm really sure what happened, but we want to take care of your free complimentary group session. But if we get interrupted, sometimes that happens in a busy practice. I want to tell you about our new psychiatric hotline that's available 24 hours a day.
I'll never look at
So-
you the same.
I know.
You ring the hotline and you listen to the following messages. If you are obsessive compulsive, please press 1 repeatedly. If you are codependent, please ask someone else to press 2. If you have multiple personality types, you press 3, 4, 5, and 6. If you are paranoid delusional, we know who you are. And we know what you want, so you stay on the phone till we can trace the call. If you're schizophrenic, listen carefully. A little small voice in your head will tell you what number to push. If you're depressed, it doesn't matter which number you push because nobody's going to answer the telephone anyway. And if you are delusional and occasionally hallucinate, please be aware that that little thing you are holding up to your ear is alive and it's about to bite off your ear. So that's our new psychiatric hotline. Please take advantage of it in case we get interrupted. Now we've got, you know, Cuomo and paperwork and New York State. It's just an absolute nightmare. So we have a little paperwork we need for you to fill out before we can begin our complimentary group therapy session. We've got OSHA and HIPAA. We've got Homeland Security, FBI, NYPD, CIA, FEMA, Ivanka Trump's fashion survey, and Kim Jong-un, the president of North Korea, missile release form. All of these need to be signed before we can continue with anything else. So, we will get started.
Doctor! Oh, I'm sorry I'm late.
What?
It's been a day. I had to get a ride in from the mother-in-law. And as you can see, she walked home.
Oh, well, sit down, please, sit down, take the load off your feet.
Oh, it's...
But you're really, really late, and we've got a complicated situation here, so...
I apologise, it's been a day,
Well, what's happened? What's been going
We
on?
started in Buffalo,
Buffalo,
driving along,
and?
stopped by the cops.
No.
They said, hey, why are you going the wrong way down a one-way street? I said, I don't know, can't be any good because they're all coming back.
Anything else get in your way, or any other
I
problem?
get into Fillmore,
Fillmore?
driving to Fillmore,
Yes.
go to the bank, ask the cashier, can you check my balance?
Yep.
She pushed me over.
Oh. Other problems?
I went
Yes.
into Shop and Save.
Shop and save.
There was a couple, married couple,
Yep.
I guess, man and wife. They were wrapped. They were wrapped. They were wrapped.
They were wrapped.
Wrapped. In a barcode. I had to ask, are you an item? We'll wait for them to catch up.
All right, that's
all
good.
right. I'm here all day.
Well, listen, did you see anybody else when you came in?
Before I got here,
Yes.
I was still in Shop and Save.
Yes.
And the girls were talking about, you know, the girls behind the checkout.
Sure.
Were saying, do you know what? I can tell if a guy is single or married.
No.
And she said, oh, how can you tell?
Yeah.
So she was telling her, and I thought, I can't listen to this, I've got to go and get my meat. I went down to the butcher and I said, can I have 2 pork chops?
Yeah.
And can you make them lean?
Mm-hmm.
He said, which way? Oh, jeez. I know, it just goes on and on.
Anything else slow you down
I
for your
go,
appointment?
well, I have to go around the check. I know I have to get my thing from Shop and Save. I got 1 apple, I got 1 onion, I got 1 mushroom, and I got 1 tomato. And I went to the checkout and she said, you're single, aren't you? I said, how can you tell?
Yeah.
She said, because you're as ugly as a pig. So, you know, the car wouldn't move. So I had to get the
Broken
mother-in-law.
down, so the woman, so you had to come, and
Outside.
there you are.
Well, yeah, but
What are you talking
outside.
about? Right outside here?
Outside your door.
Outside my office.
2 silkworms fighting.
No. That's horrible. Fighting.
2 silkworms.
Really?
Buffed. Tattoos, muscles pierced. Doc Martens kicking,
Banging it
punching,
out.
biting.
Well, what did you do?
Well, I had to watch.
Yes, and then what happened?
It ended in a tie.
Oh my goodness.
Knitted a tie.
Oh, I almost forgot. There's a patient back in room 6. This guy came in just before you, butt naked. I mean, I couldn't put him in the waiting room here. Wrapped in cellophane. Well, I can clearly see his nuts. Yes.
So it's like the guy that's out there when I came in.
What happened?
He was saying, tell the doctor, doctor, I think I'm invisible.
Well, I can't see him now. Well, dear, that's quite a story.
Oh, the mother-in-law. Don't get me on the mother-in-law.
Not the mother-in-law?
Do you know she's nasty?
Tell me what happened.
She's the only person I know that eats piranha fish.
She eats piranha fish.
Live.
Live.
And I always know when she's coming round to the house.
How's that?
The mice, they throw themselves on the traps. She's nasty. She's nasty. I was watching soccer the other day.
Yes.
There was a knock on the door. I
Knock on
opened
the door.
Absolutely pouring with rain. Pouring. I said to her, she's standing there.
Mother-in-law, yeah.
I said, don't stand there out in the rain.
Right.
You'll catch your death.
Sure.
Go home.
Absolutely.
She said, I'll dance on your grave.
Oh,
I said, good, because I'm being buried at sea. Every year for 7 years, Doctor, she's been coming round to our house on Christmas Day. 7 years.
Isn't that
Christmas
sweet?
Day.
That's
This
so-
year, we're going to have a change.
what's going to happen?
I'm going to let her in.
So this is your mother-in-law.
My mother-in-law.
Tell me about your other family members.
Well, I could tell you about my mother, because, you know, I've got head trouble, so maybe this is one of the reasons.
I'm
This
sure
might give you a bit
there
of
may
a
be
clue for
some
my head
relation to that,
troubles.
yes.
You know, my mother was 4'11".
For-
Crazy Irish woman.
Yeah.
The only woman I knew who had to stand on a pair of step ladders to open a can of beans. Oh. 96 she was when she died. 96.
96?
96. I used to carry her downstairs so she could make my breakfast. Now how many sons would do that? Oh, but she was a card. She was
Wasn't
funny.
she really
was,
a character? Yes.
Really.
Yeah.
Makes me wonder why. You know, I got head troubles.
Well,
She was 80, and she got arrested for shoplifting.
your mother
Shoplifting.
at 80.
80. The shame
Oh.
shame on the family.
Goodness.
80. Oh, she was in court. The judge said, right, madam, I want you to tell me what you stole, how many there were, and why you stole them. Oh, she looked up at the judge and she said, well, judge, I'd be stealing a can of peaches, and there were 5 in the can,
All right.
and I stole them because I was hungry.
Mm.
He said, right, madam, 5 days in jail. 1 day for every peach in that can. As quick as a flash, my father stood up at the back of the courtroom and he said, Judge, she stole a giant can of peas as well. And you know what, I remember going to their house one day and they were watching one of those cookery shows.
Okay.
Do you have the feeling that we're being watched? They were watching a TV show.
A cooking show.
Yeah. And my mother said, you know what, Patrick, I can do better than that. He said, right, go in the kitchen and make something. So she went in the kitchen, she made some meringue. Well, the recipe called for her to separate 2 eggs.
All right.
One in the living room, one in the kitchen.
Didn't work very well.
Didn't work. So she said, you know what, I'll make an upside down cake.
All right.
Came out the right way up.
Oh dear. Yeah.
Give up on that.
You've had a very traumatic childhood. I can see that.
Well, yeah, do you know how she passed?
No.
She died.
I'm sorry to hear that. My condolences.
She was watering a bonsai tree and she fell off the ladders.
What a way to go.
I know. And she, you know, she couldn't clean. I think this could be another reason why I have head troubles. Is it any wonder I've got head troubles?
Yes. Yeah.
She couldn't clean.
And?
She couldn't clean for toffee. I remember one day watching an army of cockroaches marching across the carpet. On stilts.
On stilts. It was so filthy.
Unbelievable.
So we jumped ahead a little bit. We didn't fill out our patient history. So we'll come back to family. But I didn't even get your name. I'm sorry.
Foggy
Foggy
Crack.
Crack.
C-R-A-C-K. Foggy Crack.
Why do I think I've seen you before somewhere?
Because I am that man. I am
You're on
the
the
working
TV.
class meteorologist. That's me.
Yes,
I read the
yes.
weather for the working classes. That's what I do.
That's your living.
That's me living.
Foggy Crack.
Yeah, that's me.
Do you have any problems with that name?
Quite a few actually. Last week, you know, I
Yeah.
had to report on the weather, and down the south it was raining bottoms.
All right.
Butts.
Yep.
Throwing all these bottoms down.
Yeah, literally.
And literally, I had to tell people, watch you don't stand on any cracks.
That's right. For
And
sure.
I got complaints. The letters that came flooding in.
I'm sure.
Unreal.
Other complaints you've had from other sections of the country?
How long have you got? It's constantly complaining.
Constantly.
Constant. I'm surprised I'm still on television.
That's amazing.
Anyway, can we skip that bit?
We can
Because,
skip
it's a
that
little
bit. Yeah,
delicate.
shall we go back to family? Now, we've talked about your mother. I think we've kind of covered that. Tell me about your father and your relationship with your father.
Well, you know, when I was born, I was an ugly baby.
Oh, dear.
God, I was ugly. I was so ugly the midwife slapped my mother. But you know, my mother said it always had its advantages having an ugly son.
Really?
Yeah, because I used to have all this wax pouring out my ears,
Mm.
and we were very poor, very poor. So she would lay me down and light me and use me as a candle. Well, I'll tell you, Doctor, my teeth used to stick out that much.
No.
She would charge kids to come round and learn the piano on them. So she said it's got its benefits being ugly, having an ugly son.
Now, any special things happen around your birth?
Well, yeah. Apart from slapping my mother.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, I'll give my father never wanted me as a baby, as a child, never wanted me. But I will give him credit for one thing.
What's that?
He knew the moment I was born that I was going to be a stand-up comedian.
Wow. That's amazing.
The doctor handed me to him, he took one look at me and he said, "This is a joke, right?" Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
At the age of 2, he took me to one side,
Yeah.
left me there. And you know, they would take me to school,
Yeah.
to either to take me to school or bring me home from school or go to a parents' meeting or
All
whatever.
right.
And they would never tell them that they were my parents.
No.
Always said they were my social workers. Always said they were my social workers. And, you know, my mother always wanted me to go to school with my name written in my pants.
Right.
My underpants.
Mm-hmm.
Problem was, she couldn't write.
Foggy Crack
She
written
couldn't
in your
write my name.
underpants, and she couldn't.
And she couldn't
write.
sew.
And she couldn't sew.
So she would just cut names out of random boxes and stick them on my underpants and send me to school. But I tell you, it's no fun. Is it any wonder I've got head troubles? I came home one day with a letter from the teacher. She said, "Betty Crocker didn't have such a good day today at school." Betty Crocker. Is it any wonder I've got head troubles?
It's amazing.
Oh.
It's amazing. Any other issues with your dad?
Well, you know, when I was about 7, he said, "Son,
Hmm?
I'm going to take you to school."
Wasn't that nice?
I thought, that's nice. You never talked to me before in 7 years. First time you've spoken.
Yes.
He said, "Get your coat, I'll take you to school." Well, we have to cross over a canal bridge.
Right.
Well, he threw me in. And you know, I thought, hey, how nice is that? He's teaching me how to swim.
Isn't that
Teaching me how to swim. How many fathers teach their sons how to swim like that?
That's right, yeah.
But I've never worked out to this day why he fastened me inside a Hessian sack first.
Ah, yeah, that's a little suspicious.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little suspicious.
But you know, my mother, when I was 16, she said, "Your father's spent an entire lifetime searching your birth certificate for loopholes."
Now, we talked about Mom and Dad, but I haven't filled out your address. Where do you live?
Oh, I live
Foggy.
at 666 Psycho Path, Crazy Town.
Crazy. Oh, you're from Crazy Town.
Born and bred, Crazy Town.
We had another. No, Crazy Town. Yes, that's a rough neighborhood.
Oh, rough.
Poor area.
Oh, I'll tell you, rough.
Disadvantaged.
So rough we have to put our houses in a circle at night time. That's how rough it is.
Yes.
Oh, I'll tell you, if you were to go there, Doctor,
Yes.
you know, being a gentleman and all,
Sure.
if you were to go there and see Crazy Town,
Right.
you'd think it was a holding pen for a Jerry Springer show.
For a Jerry Springer show. Oh my goodness.
Honestly. It's the
Honestly.
kind of place where hepatitis C is a vitamin.
Hepatitis C.
We're all related. All of us are related.
Oh my.
Every single one of us is related. You can tell by looking at the way they walk. We're all related. And I tell you, nobody has more than 2 brain cells.
In the whole town.
And one of them is usually out looking for the other one.
Well, exactly.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
the local farmer, there's only one farmer, and he came over to me one day. He said, "Here, Foggy, come and meet the wife." I was in the bar, we've only got one bar. "Come and meet the wife and the daughter." I said, "Okay." Well, I went over to his table. There was only one woman sitting there.
Ooh.
That's how related we are. We're all related.
So, any childhood games like marbles that you played?
Well, you know, when we were very poor.
Yes.
We were poor. 6 boys in one single bed.
No.
6 of us, and 5 of them used to pee the bed every night. Oh, they would pee the bed so much.
Oh.
I learned to swim before I could walk. My father used to say, "Which end would you like to sleep at tonight, son?" I said, "The shallow end." Poor. I had to, at Christmas Day, we had to knock a hole in the wall
No.
so I could dip my bread in next door's gravy. Oh, we were poor. Not good. So
So-
we only had one toy,
One toy.
racing snail.
Racing snail.
And I'd get bored.
It's so slow.
Do you get this feeling people are looking for mine? Yeah, a little bit. So I take the shell off this racing snail, see if I can get it to go any faster. If anything, it's a little sluggish.
Oh dear.
Very good. But I'll tell you what,
What?
we were so poor. Some burglars broke into our house on Christmas Eve.
No.
They left presents for us. They left presents for us. And I'll tell you, it shows how poor how poor Crazy Town is.
Mm-hmm.
Ethiopia held a fundraising event for us.
Amazing.
True story, true story.
Amazing.
Ah.
Marbles. Did you ever play marbles as a young boy?
Well, yeah, I did play marbles as a young boy, and as you know, when you win, you
Yes.
get to keep them.
Oh, sure.
Well, I was playing with the boy next door, and I won the marbles, and I went home.
Mm-hmm.
Did I tell you how small our houses are?
No, you
compared
didn't.
to yours?
No, no.
Tiny, tiny, tiny.
Mm-hmm.
So small our Christmas tree was a miniature bonsai.
Oh,
And it was so small, the house. But one night, you know, there was a knock on the door.
all right.
So my father got up and walked the 2 yards to the front door. And it was the boy's mother.
Okay.
He said, your son's won the marbles today. I said,
Mhm.
right, right,
Mhm.
right. She said, well, can I have my husband's glass eye back? He needs it to look for work.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, oh, I tell you, terrible, terrible.
So, tell me, Foggy, how did you get to our office?
Well, I think my brother had something to do with
Your
it.
brother?
My brother.
Oh,
Now, I've told you about Crazy Town.
yes.
And I've told you about how poor we are and how
Right.
stupid we are.
Mm.
My brother's at Harvard Medical School.
What?
Harvard Medical School. My
Your brother from Crazy Town
Harvard Medical
made
School.
it to Harvard
He made it to
Medical
Harvard.
School.
Yep. He's in a bottle in the dissection lab, but he made it.
He made it all the way. Amazing. Amazing. So, I was looking on your paperwork, and it seems to me that we had a referral here from a doctor colleague.
Yes.
Tell
I
us
think he's
about it.
he's probably part of why I've got head troubles.
I'm sure he is.
Yeah, I think he is. Dr. Stuttart Stapleton is called.
Dr. Stapleton.
That's the one.
We had a patient last week from Dr. Stapleton.
Yeah?
Yes, he was a mathematician,
Oh,
and he was having problems with constipation.
oh dear.
And we were able to help him and give him some tools and stuff like that. And at the end, the constipated mathematician was able to work it out with a pencil. Everything turned out fine.
That's great.
Yes,
That's a good referral, then I feel confident that you can help
you're
me.
in a good place. You're
Because
in a
he
good
couldn't.
place. That's
He
right.
couldn't help me.
No.
You know, the reason why I went to see him in the first place
Right.
was I was walking outside Shop and Save,
Uh-huh.
and we've got all these fruit and vegetables out
Right.
there. Well, I slipped, didn't I?
Oh,
And the lettuce stuck in my butt.
oh,
So I had to go and see Dr. Stapleton, because, you know, he's a neuroproctologist.
he's a neuroproctologist.
That's right.
That's a very specialized
That's a very specialised thing. And so, you know, I went in there, he said, right, strip off, bend over, I need to have a look. So I stripped off, I bent, he had a look. I said, where shall I put my clothes? He said, over there next to mine. Well, I was worried.
I would be worried.
I was
too.
worried when he
Yeah,
said that.
That's right.
But he had a look, he examined me, and he said, you know what, Foggy? This is just the tip of the iceberg. He said, I'm going to send you to see Dr. Paula, because I think you've got head
Dr.
troubles.
Polar. Well, that's how you got here.
So that's how I got
Well, that's
here.
wonderful.
That's right.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
Any other symptoms that we should be aware of that are causing concern for you?
Like what?
Well, we could find out the rest of our questionnaire. We got your address. Sex.
Not for a long, long time.
No, LGBTQI.
I never ever take lettuce with my bacon.
Oh. Any insurance issues?
I've got plenty of issues. That's why I'm here, dog.
So we talked about mom. We talked about dad. What about grandma?
Well, you know, my grandma, because again, Rishton, all credit, my grandma, smaller than my mother.
Now,
So
Rishton
imagine
is
like
your grandmother's town.
That's
Yes.
my grandmother's town.
All right.
She's like 4'9".
Mm. Another short one. Okay.
And Rishton is you think Crazy Town's bad?
Hmm.
Rishton?
Yeah.
But it's where old people go to retire. And when I say old people, I mean they've retired once, they've retired twice, and they've retired three times. now. And it's time to stop.
And they're poor.
Although they still do work part-time, but I'll come back to that.
All right.
So they go and live in Rishton.
Yes.
And, it's bad. It's bad.
How bad is it?
It's bad. All these old people, it's like a cemetery with lights. It's like,
Really?
it is, it's like
Yeah.
Central
Oh,
Park.
it's
And
depressing.
the highlight of the week is Monday morning when all the guys go down to watch the bacon slicer. Amanda, she's called. She's
Amanda.
a lovely girl.
Okay,
And it's all right. We'll wait for them to catch up.
okay,
I think they've lost it.
yeah.
I think they've got.
All right.
So I'll
So,
tell you about my grandma. 'Cause that
your
might be
grandmother,
really
yes.
like, yeah. So my grandmother, she goes into the shop. We've got a shop that's a little bit like Dollar General, but it's called the Pound Stretcher.
The pound stretcher, okay.
So she goes in there and she says, I want some cat food. She gets the cat food, puts it on the counter. The checkout girl says, you know what? I can't sell that to you. My manager said too many Rishton grandmas are coming in here buying cheap cat food, taking it home, eating it,
Ooh,
and making themselves sick.
sure.
The doctor's not happy. The doctor's not happy.
No.
She said, Royce, I'll bring the cat. So she brought the cat and said, okay, you can have the cat food. The following day, she goes in for dog food. Same thing.
Same thing all over.
Checkout girl, same thing all over again, same procedure. She said, I'll bring the dog. So she went to bring the dog. She's getting a little bit
Impatient,
agitated.
sure.
So she goes and gets the dog. The next time she went in, she took a cardboard box
Mhm.
and it had a hole cut in the middle.
All right.
Well, she found the checkout girl and she said, come here, put your finger in the hole. She said, I'm not putting my finger in there. I get bitten.
Sure.
Well, she's lost it now, my grandma.
Oh, yeah.
There is nothing in there to bite you now, put your finger in the hole. Well, she put the finger in the hole, she pulled it out and she said, ugh, that's poop.
Ugh.
My grandma said, that's right. Now can I have some toilet paper, please? So you don't mess with them now. You just don't mess with them. Oh, are you alright? Have I hit a nerve? Oh dear.
Oh, I'm sorry.
They say that the abused often becomes the
Oh,
abuser.
it just reminded me my wife passed a couple months ago.
Oh, I am sorry.
Oh, and shortly after that I met a nice young lady. Oh, I'm 70 years old. She's 25.
Wow.
She goes to the gym every
Are you
day.
distressed?
She fixes all the great food I
And
like.
you're upset?
And so she likes to carry me to bed every night.
Wow.
And you know, afterwards. And so
So why are you so upset?
I can't remember where I live.
Oh dear.
It's rough. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
We'll find you better.
That shouldn't interfere with. So we talked father, mother, brother.
You did mention my brother.
We did cover your brother.
We talked about my brother.
So I think it's time to talk about some treatment options.
Do you think you have a bit of a diagnosis?
I definitely have a wonderful diagnosis. That's going to be a shock. Just close your eyes, take a couple breaths. Okay. I am sure that you are suffering from Libertucci syndrome.
Do you know what? That is serious.
That's serious. 1 in
In fact, I think
10,000
I want
is
to-
rare.
I want a second opinion.
It's rare. You want a second opinion? You're ugly too. Now, some of the classic symptoms of Libertucci syndrome. Number 1, people don't return your phone calls. Have you been having a trouble
Oh, yeah.
with that? All right. Number 2, high anxiety, low self-esteem. Okay. The number 3, a heavy British accent.
I don't know what you're talking
It
about.
goes with Libertucci syndrome. Number 4 symptom, Libertucci syndrome, a foggy brain episodes periodically. Foggy. Extreme fixation on weather patterns.
What am I doing?
Number 6 symptom of Libertucci is, as a young lad, you were submerged underwater for long periods of time. Number 7, your mother was a kleptomaniac.
Yes, but she did take something for it.
She did. What'd she take? Who knows?
She was a kleptomaniac. She took everything.
Number 8. Number 8
We
symptom.
had to wait for the
Of
fish to
Libertucci.
catch up.
Number 8 symptom, Libertucci syndrome. You actually enjoy shoveling horse shit.
Well, do you know what? I come from Arizona.
Yes,
Oh, it's hot.
it's very hot.
Oh, it's hot. And it's a dry heat.
Yes.
But you know, you're absolutely right, because you know, I walk past my horses and I tend to be a bit of a laxative around my horses. 'Cause every time I walk past them, they want to have a poop.
Yeah.
Well, in Arizona, before it's out, it's almost dry.
Oh my goodness.
By the time it hits the ground, it's already disintegrated.
That's dry. That's really dry. Another symptom of Libertucci syndrome, delusionary episodes of feeling like you've had tea with the Queen of England.
Well, I have.
Okay. The last symptom of Libertucci syndrome is a foot fetish with Dr. Martin footwear.
Well,
And I think you're guilty of
I can't.
that.
I can't deny that one.
So let's go on to treatment.
I
Shall
think,
we?
can
Or
I
you
just,
have another? Go ahead.
do you mind if I just kind of say, maybe one of the reasons why I'm having such head troubles
Yes.
is because of an ex.
Oh, I forgot to ask you about that.
She was ugly.
She was a who?
Oh, she was so ugly.
Oh. How ugly was she?
When she had that many wrinkles. When she smiled, she looked like a Venetian blind.
Oh.
I took her to Spain for a holiday.
Yeah.
You know, they've got a lot of mosquitoes in Spain.
Mosquitoes, yes.
They used to draw straws to see who was going to have to bite her.
Oh. That's ugly.
I took her to see the Daugherty stone in Ireland.
Right?
You've got to be blindfolded before you kiss the blind. So
Mhm.
the authorities insisted on blindfolding the Blarney stone first.
That was ugly.
She once won Miss Ugly UK.
No.
She won it,
Really?
hands down. Easy. She got 2 tickets to go and see the movie The Elephant Man. Have you seen it?
No.
No? Good
No.
film, The Elephant Man.
Mhm.
Good film, good movie. It was alright, but we were in there for 2.5 hours because everybody wanted her autograph. Real. You know, she got her own back on me.
How's that?
Well, I said to her one night, I said, darling, if you were to describe me as anything in the universe, what would it be?
Yeah.
She said, the sun, because nobody can bear to look directly at you. So I think there's some troubles there. I think
there's
feelings
some
of
troubles.
inadequacy, you know, come from...
Did you ever take her to Tussauds Wax Museum?
Well, funnily enough, I did take her to Madame
Did you?
Tussauds.
All right.
Yes, and we were having a good time. I took her into the Chamber of Horrors. And the supervisor was shouting, keep her moving, I'm doing the inventory.
My goodness.
I think that could be another reason
That's
why I've got
definitely
head
another
troubles.
reason why you're having some mental issues, for sure. And this Libertucci syndrome, I'm sure, will help explain what's been going on for you.
Excellent.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, do you know, last week, I put a lot of money on a racehorse
Mm-hmm.
called Yellow Walls,
Yellow walls.
and it won.
No.
It won a fortune. I cleaned up. So in honour of Yellow Walls, I went home and I painted all my walls yellow.
Mm-hmm.
I painted my chairs yellow.
Yeah.
I covered the carpet yellow carpet.
Mm-hmm.
Everything in there's yellow. Well, last week I got yellow fever. Nobody could find me.
That's right. You were lost. Just lost in your own home.
I was lost in my own home.
Amazing.
I think you've got enough to realise that I've got some serious...
Some serious issues. Now, when we think about treatment for Libertucci, we think about traditional medicine approach and a psychosocial approach, all right? So let's talk about the traditional medicine approach, which is medication, obviously. Now, we have here the ideal medication for Libertucci's syndrome. Do you know what these are?
They remind me of something that happened in Crazy Town?
No.
Yeah, because you know we're all related,
Sure.
and most people are Irish.
Exactly.
Well, my cousin Pauline,
Mm-hmm.
she was walking through Crazy Town,
Right?
and she was pushing a pram, a stroller,
Right.
one of those double strollers.
Yes.
Nobody in it, she was just pushing it. And she met Father Daugherty.
Mm-hmm.
And he said to her, "Oh, hello Pauline, how are you getting on? I heard you got married."
Yes.
She said, "Right, Father, I got married, but we went to Belfast. Nothing against you, just wanted to do something different."
Sure.
He said, "Well, why are you pushing that?" She said, "Well, we're hoping to have children.
Isn't that wonderful?
We've been trying for 8 years now."
Yes.
He said, "Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to work for the Pope for 10 years. I'll light a candle and say a prayer."
Mm-hmm.
She said, "Right." Well, 10 years later, he comes back. And he sees her.
There she is.
He says, "Pauline, how are you doing? I see you've got 2 little ones." She
Yes.
said, "Yes, this is Patrick and Patrick, A and B." She said, "I've got 2 grown-up sons as well. I've got 2 other children in school, and I've got 2 at kindergarten, and I'm pregnant with triplets."
Oh,
He said, "Well, that's marvellous. Where's your husband?"
yes.
And he's gone to Rome to blow out that bloody candle.
That was a good idea.
I
Yeah,
think so.
that was an excellent good idea. Well, let me explain these 2 medications to you. These are adult suppositories.
My God.
Oh boy.
The lettuce wasn't that big.
Now, you'll notice that there are letters on each one. That's very, very important.
Okay.
The O is an oral suppository, and the A, you know where that goes. That goes at the other end. Now, you have to be very careful with these. The oral suppository you put under your tongue, and it dissolves in 6 hours. All right? The anal suppository, you know what you do with that. Usually it works best if you lay face down in bed and insert, and then if you do some Kegel exercises, it'll kind of suck it in, and 6 hours later it'll be dissolved. But you never want to mix these up, because if you put A, we call this the AO treatment in medicine. If you mix up the A and the O, and you put the A in the wrong hole, you're going to be burping out your butt. It reverses the GI system completely. So you're going to be burping out the butt, and I don't even want to go into what's going to happen at the top end of things. So you've got to be very careful with this medicine to keep it straight. Now, that's the medical approach. Now the psychosocial approach. We work with a special treatment called a mouth guard. And you are to place this in your mouth. I'll let you go ahead and do that in that direction. And then repeat a certain phrase, a series of phrases as you're walking down the street.
Too big.
So the big end goes inside.
Oh.
Like this.
Right
That's it. Now,
there.
this is a phrase you need to repeat for 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes at night. My name is Foggy Crack.
Hi there. It's Foggy Crack.
My mother was a klepto.
I know the crack shop.
I am living with Libertucci syndrome. My home is in Richton. If you find me wandering the streets, please call the Libertucci hotline. Shall we go through that one more time? My name is Foggy Crack. My line was a klepto.
That is right.
I'm living with Libertucci syndrome. I live in Richton. laundry, laundering the streets.
You're
going off script.
Oh,
Just to the line.
oh, you shouldn't.
If you laundering the streets, please call the Little Tootsie hotline.
He's calling anything hotline.
There.
What's the number?
Excellent.
What's the number?
Who? How long have you had this speech impediment?
The number. What's the number?
What's the number? I'll have to look it up. Have to look it up. That's a very resistant disease. You have to be really faithful with the A&O suppositories. Remember, 6 hours to dissolve. Write-ins.
I'm on it.
And psychosocial 10 minutes a day in the morning, 10 minutes in the afternoon.
I'm on it.
All right. That's what I have for treatment-wise.
Oh, do I need to see you again?
Yes, I think we need to set up another
I
appointment.
think it needs to be soon at this rate.
Absolutely.
I
The
think
sooner
9th
the better.
9th of December would be good.
Oops. I've got a conflict there.
Oh,
I'm going on a cruise.
really?
Yeah. I'll be gone.
You're not.
Yes.
You're not going on it.
Yes.
It's not the Saga cruise.
Yes.
The Saga Cruise Line? No, it's not. It's Royal
Oh.
Caribbean, yeah.
You can take a breather then because that Saga cruise line
Yes.
is for, you know, those people who live in, Richmond,
Oh dear.
the old. It's for them and older. They are so old on the Saga cruises.
How old are they?
And smell embalming fluid on the corridors.
Oh,
You know when they turn your pillow down in the cabin
right.
and they put a chocolate on there?
Hmm?
Not on Saga.
What happens?
It's a prune.
A prune on your pillow. Oh dear. And what happens when you go in port?
Well, you know, those passengers are so old, when they dock in port, they bring Tutankhamun on to look at the passengers.
No.
It's true, it's true, so, you know.
So I'll stay away from the Saga Cruise Line.
I would.
I bet they have low prices though.
Well, you know, they often, you see, we have this,
Specials.
yeah, they have special, but we have this odd thing that we do in Richmond when people die.
Oh. What's the
don't do it.
tradition?
You take them up a mountain.
Up a mountain.
And I was only a little boy when I saw this, so, you know, it could be a reason why I'm having head troubles and why I feel that people are staring at me, but maybe that's the reason as well.
Yeah.
I'm watching, and the hearse is going up the mountain, and the back doors came open, and the coffin slid out of the hearse.
Down the hill.
It slid down the mountain, it slid into the village, it slid through the village, into Walgreens,
Walgreens.
hit the counter,
Yes.
the lid came off, the corpse sat up, it said, "Have you got anything to stop this coffin?"
That's right.
Could be another reason why.
Could be another reason why there's some problems there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got a lot to work with.
We've got a lot to work with. Well, we'll work on an appointment after the cruise and look forward to seeing what progress you've made with your Livertucci syndrome.
Sweet. Thank you. I cannot believe I did a whole set